Meet Audrey Nuna, the 26-year-old LA-based American sonic and visual prodigy who defies conventional labels. She's the singing voice behind Mira in K-Pop Demon Hunters, where she drops one of the most viral lines in animated film history. Not exactly what you'd expect from a nice girl who grew up in the quiet suburbs of New Jersey. So how did she go from Jersey girl to headlining world tours, dodging industry gatekeepers, and bending the rules of R&B, hip-hop, rap, pop, and trap? Let's just say, her rise is full of twists and turns that nobody saw coming. Audrey Nuna isn't just a voice, she's a shapeshifter, a sonic rule breaker, and the last person you can predict. One month she's crooning soft R&B that feels like sinking into a dream. The next she's spitting bars sharp enough to slice glass, all while rocking silver body armor on stage and sending telepathic messages to the crowd. And here's the thing. This wild, genre-defying star didn't come from the streets of LA. She came from a quiet New Jersey suburb, armed with nothing but talent, stubbornness, and a refusal to play by the industry's rules. Audrey's latest album, Trench, isn't just a playlist. It's a personality split in two. On one side, soft skin lures you in with velvety R&B, dripping with underwater calm. On the other, hard feelings snaps you awake with razor-sharp trap beats that hit like broken glass underfoot. It's a sonic mood swing that keeps you off balance and addicted. And she's not just keeping that chaos in your headphones. She's taking it on the road. Her first ever headlining tour has been pure visual madness. 1 minute, she's in full silver body armor. The next, she's dancing in front of shadow puppets, twisting like fevered dreams. At one show, she locked eyes with the crowd and claimed her goal was to send telepathic messages from the stage. The US leg wrapped in May, but she's currently unleashing that same raw voltage across Asia and Australia, where fans have been blasting Trench on repeat for months. This isn't just a tour. It's Audrey Nuna announcing once and for all that she's done playing it safe. If most artists follow the rules, Audrey Nuna rips the rulebook in half. Her sound is a mashup you can't pin down. R&B, hip-hop, rap, pop, trap, even Jersey club beats stitched together like she's running her own underground experiment. One verse might melt into honey-smooth vocals, and the very next could flip into rapid-fire bars. You never know what's coming, and that's exactly the point. Visually, she's just as unpredictable. Her music videos feel like tiny surreal films, walking on water, slipping through dreamlike sets, posing in custom armor that looks borrowed from another planet. And here's the kicker. Most of it isn't powered by a massive marketing budget. It's Audrey and a small crew of friends pulling all-nighters with set designers, obsessing over the tiniest background details, down to the exact shape of a drawer in a single shot. Her mantra? Creativity over content. In an industry that churns out copy-paste clones, that's not just refreshing. It's rebellious, and it's exactly what got her voice into Netflix's most successful animated film of all time. When Netflix dropped K-Pop Demon Hunters, it exploded into a global obsession. Fans couldn't get enough of Mira, the rebellious, sharp-tongued member of the fictional girl group Huntrix. In the movie, model/actress Mei Hong is the speaking voice of Mira. But here's the twist. That bold, magnetic voice belting out Mira's lines? That's not Mei Hong. That's Audrey Nuna. Recording for Mira wasn't anything like making her own music. She wasn't writing lyrics, producing beats, or steering the creative ship. This was pure performance. Every breath, every inflection had to drip with Mira's attitude. Executive music producer Ian Eisendrath even had her try 20 different deliveries for a single line, each one with a slightly different bite. And then came that line, "Fit check for my napalm era." Audrey didn't write it, but the way she delivered it turned it into a viral firestorm. Overnight, fans were dissecting its meaning, debating its subtext, and arguing whether it was too bold for a family movie. One lyric, one delivery, and suddenly, Mira wasn't just a side character, she was a fan-favorite baddie stamped into pop culture. And Audrey had just discovered the true power of her voice. But where did that power in her voice come from? Audrey Nuna's story doesn't start in some glittering studio. Audrey was born and raised in quiet, suburban central New Jersey, about an hour outside of New York City. She grew up in a predominantly white community, and she was one of the only kids of Asian descent in her school. Her parents, Korean-American immigrants with creative dreams of their own, saw her spark early. By age 10, she was singing America the Beautiful at the US Open, a voice so pure it made strangers stop mid-step. In high school, she started uploading covers to Instagram. Just her voice, no gimmicks. One of those clips caught the attention of producer Anwar Sawyer, who proposed meeting to work together. Cautious but curious, she brought her mom to their first session. They clicked instantly. Soon, she was splitting her time between school and late-night recording sessions. After graduating high school, Audrey went to New York City to study music at the prestigious Tisch School of the Arts under the Clive Davis Institute program at NYU. But while her classmates were chasing grades, she was still commuting to Anwar's to record until 2 a.m. The grind paid off. By 20, she dropped out of college, signed with Sony's Arista Records, and moved to LA to pursue music full-time. With her debut singles including Time, Paper, and the Jack Harlow collab Comic Sans, she burst onto the music scene with a mix of confidence and swagger rare for a newcomer, proving she wasn't just another fresh face. She was here to carve her own lane, but before she could really take off, she knew that she needed a new name. Before she was Audrey Nuna, she was Audrey Chu, and in the early days she went by the mononym Audrey. There was one problem. Try Googling Audrey and you get a sea of Audrey Hepburn articles and images, not a rising artist. She spent months brainstorming. Names inspired by jazz legends, random phrases in her phone, but nothing stuck. Then her younger brother cracked it in seconds. In Korean, Nuna is what a boy calls his older sister. He'd been calling her that since he could talk. It wasn't just a nickname. It was layered with family pride, love, and respect. The second he suggested it, she knew. This wasn't just a stage name, it was a piece of her identity she could take everywhere, and it fit perfectly. Audrey grew up speaking both English and Korean at home, staying connected to her heritage through her grandparents, who didn't speak any English. Audrey's grandmother survived the Korean War. During a family get-together, her grandmother shared her war stories with Audrey, saying that, as a child, she got lost and separated from her family in the chaos as they fled the fighting on foot. For months, she was housed and fed by complete strangers in some random village, not knowing whether the rest of her family had survived. Thankfully, her father eventually found her. As for Audrey's mother, she was 11 years old when she came to America with her large family. She began her American journey in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment in the Bronx with 9 other family members. There, she dreamed of becoming an entertainer, but those dreams were extinguished in order to survive. Audrey is the product of strong Korean survivors who nurtured her with unconditional love. So why not embrace her Korean heritage to keep her grounded while blazing her own trail? Nuna wasn't just a name, it was a reminder of the strength she came from, and the fire she was determined to carry forward. But behind that confident identity, she was wrestling with the messier side of chasing a music career. On paper, Audrey Nuna's rise looks like a straight shot to the top. Viral hits, a record deal, festival stages. Behind the scenes, it's been a fight. Dropping out of NYU's Clive Davis Institute after 1 year sent shockwaves through her traditional Korean family. Her mom backed her all the way, but her dad, ever the realist, wasn't convinced music could be a stable career. It took seeing actual contracts and numbers before he realized she wasn't chasing a fantasy. Then came LA and the reality check. Many sessions felt less like creating art and more like sitting in a boardroom talking about marketable hooks instead of honest music. The pressure to pump out hits, the fake smiles, the obsession with fame over substance. It was a scene she never truly fit into. That's when the fail folder was born. A graveyard of stubborn song ideas that refused to cooperate, sometimes sitting untouched for years. On bad days, she calls it the FU folder. She's made choices that ruffled feathers, turning down collabs that didn't feel right, ignoring label suggestions, and refusing to jump on whatever sound is trending. In a business built on speed and sameness, that's risky. But Audrey would rather be called difficult than be anything less than herself. With Trench still echoing in venues and her voice forever stamped into K-pop Demon Hunters history, Audrey Nuna isn't coasting, she's plotting. Behind closed doors, she's building what she calls her most conceptual project yet. A start-to-finish storyline you have to experience in full to understand, with sounds leaning even further into surreal, cinematic territory. She's been spotted in the studio with new collaborators, experimenting with textures and beats that feel like stepping into another dimension. There's also buzz about her taking a deeper dive into fashion. Not just styling her own videos, but designing capsule collections that fuse streetwear with her signature otherworldly edge. And if she has her way, she might disappear for a while to study fashion or history abroad, coming back with an even sharper creative arsenal. But Audrey's playing her cards close. If her career so far has proven anything, it's that she thrives on the unexpected. Whether it's a genre flip, a viral movie moment, or a stage look no one could predict, her next move will feel both shocking and somehow inevitable. From a kid in suburban New Jersey singing at the US Open, to a globe-touring artist with a viral movie soundtrack under her belt, Audrey Nuna has built her career by breaking the mold, not fitting into it. She's proof you don't have to play the industry's game to win. You just have to be fearless enough to build your own. Every project, every risk, every stubborn idea in her so-called fail folder is another piece of the world she's creating. One that refuses to look or sound like anything else. And that's the thing about Audrey. The second you think you figured her out, she flips the script. So, if you think you know what she's doing next, you probably don't. And that's exactly how she likes it.